is that truth itself doesn't need the defense of any brain, of any person. Nobody needs to defend truth. If it's true, it'll simply be known. And if it's really true, upon being challenged, its truth will be greater revealed. This is a big deal in itself. To know that when I have something inside, if I'm holding a truth, if I'm carrying a truth, and it becomes contradicted, that truth will only be greater or more so revealed. Excuse my English. But this is really, really valuable information to know and to have within us as we move through our lives. You know, if we're on a spiritual journey or even a scientific journey of exploration of what life is, what my life is, how can I live my life in the greatest way? What is spirituality? What is God? If we're endeavoring or moving through life with any of these kind of questions we can have, what I'm sharing today is really, really powerful tools sort of to have to how to approach these questions that we might have, or how to approach our lives in a way. If we're living with any sort of intention, if we're endeavoring towards any kind of metaphysical goal or spiritual goal or even a social goal, you know, to have good relationships and that sort of thing. What I'm sharing today can be really, really supportive and valuable to our journey. And to kind of sum it up, we come to a place of having loose relations with the notions, the concepts, the principles that arise within us. To not hold too fixed to anything, to really have an open exploration towards our journey is going to really support us in discovering a truth. And also not holding on to things that we don't need to. It's another really important aspect of the journey as well, is we might cling to ideas, principles, and concepts for longer than we need to progress. So certain ideas, principles, concepts, beliefs, whatever you want to call it, might be important for us to carry for a while, but at some point we might need to discard them completely to continue on in the name of science. And I'm just relating this sort of scientific endeavor because any good scientist will have this sort of openness to surrendering things when they're proven false. And if they hold on to them emotionally or something like that, it only, deprives them of their progression. It's the same thing with spirituality. They're not different. It's the same thing with even our social endeavors in our lives. So this attitude and this relationship with whatever it is that we're doing. I'm more spiritually oriented, so I relate it to that, and socially oriented too, towards avoiding or resolving conflict and stuff like that in any given relationship. All of this stuff can be, what I'm sharing today can be really supportive, just in a sense of attitude of how we show up for things, all kind of circling back to what is the nature of the universe itself. The universe comes from some infinite potential, and that potential is explored and expressed through nature and through life itself, through consciousness itself. And so that being said, nothing can be defined fully if things are growing and evolving all the time. And if that expression is shifting and fluctuating and changing in how and in what is expressed through nature, through existence, through consciousness. So I hope this is supportive. I hope it makes sense. They're kind of abstract dealings, but this is one of the ways I think we can move through our lives and our endeavors, especially spiritual endeavors. But again, even social and scientific endeavors, in ways that are really efficient, that keep us from getting hung up and stuck on certain things and in certain areas. If we always leave room for things to grow and evolve, at the same time honoring what is true for us, right? It's sort of a almost a conundrum, almost paradoxical in a way, where we have to really find this intuitive harmony with when it's appropriate to hold on to something and to stand by something, and when it's appropriate to let something go. And now from there, we get into a bit of a spiritual endeavor of there's a space inside that's wise. There's a space inside that's really all-knowing. There's actually the source, a spark of the source of creation that's within us, that's intelligent, conscious, aware, and truthful. There's a wisdom that we have inside that is not separate from the dawn of creation. It's not separate from that infinite potential that creation or existence came from. That's inside of us, and we have access to that. So that's our greatest refuge when it comes to truth, when it comes to knowing truth, when it comes to an idea arising within me, or a principle or a concept arising within me, whatever it is that may arise in me. I can contact or maintain connection with that source of creation and existence that's inside of me, that can allow me to navigate these endeavors in my life. So I hope this is supportive. If you like what you're hearing, if you're enjoying this content, you can subscribe to my channel. You can leave comments if you have questions, if this doesn't make sense. If you think I'm an idiot, go ahead and leave comments. And let's move forward on this journey of understanding life, understanding ourselves, the journey of spirituality. If you want to join me on this journey, on this path, again, even if you contradict it in some way, I welcome it. Please leave your questions, leave your comments. I appreciate it. And it's those things that are going to help us get to a greater understanding and a greater truth. If we can all kind of embrace the different perspectives that we have, we can grow together. Many blessings, friends. Enjoy.